We're gonna have to make this quick because there's a rooster that lives in my yard. It's not it's not my rooster. It's my landlord's rooster. Why does she have a rooster? I couldn't tell you. It just stopped, and that's why I decided to make this video. So never will I try again to make a video in the morning. It's Friday morning with Ohan, and today we're talking about gender roles. Forgive me if this is really fragmented because of the rooster. It will stop eventually. I don't know when. So let's just try to get to it. First things first. Next week is question week, which means that whatever questions you post down below will be answered by me next week. I'm a little scared, so I mean, just be nice. That's all I have to say. And if you want to be anonymous, you can send them to my Tumblr or the Transtastic Tumblr. Basically, we'll just do our best to answer whatever you'd like to know. Which, of course, you can ask anytime, but, you know, next week is just like the dedicated week. So now that that's out of the way, this week we're talking about gender roles. I obviously have complicated feelings towards gender roles, given my lived experience. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just feeling extra philosophical this morning. I feel like I'm going to relate them all back to philosophy, and this is how. I think if gender is a social construct, if you believe that gender is a social construct, meaning we assign this to people and it's not like this inherent thing, then by default gender roles are also social constructs because they're based on gender, which is a social construct. Remind me to never be a professor. So basically what that means is that if you're a man, then that implies a whole slew of things about you, and if you're a woman, that implies a whole separate slew of things about you, that are really just, I mean, a whole combination of what stereotypes, expectations, what the majority of people like, and therefore based on the majority now you're supposed to also like these things or do these things. I can rationalize it all, you know, till the cows come home, as the expression goes. Is that the expression? I don't know. I also can't sit here and say that they don't affect me, because I do feel certain pressures and I do feel certain expectations in this gender to do certain things and perform a certain way and act a certain way in public and greet men a certain way as opposed to greeting women a certain way. Like, I think, I think most of my inadequacy stems from feeling like I can't fulfill a male gender role, but at the same time I do stereotypically male things. I like beer. I don't like sports, but I like beer. That's not true. So I like soccer, but I don't like football. Like, so okay, so if all this is bullshit, which I believe it is, then why do we do it? Like, what's the point? My point is that we fear choice. Human beings naturally have a tendency to fear choice, openness, inconclusive things. Like, we want answers, we want specifics, we want to know things. And that's natural, and I get that, and I do too in many ways. But when it comes to gender roles, I think it's a lot easier if you're put into this world, you're told you're this thing, and you're told you're supposed to like these things, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, execute those things, you'll have a happy life, you'll be accepted, liked, loved, and integrated into this society and feel like a normal, good person. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want those things, right? Like, of course we want those things. So then we try to fit in these roles that are assigned to us. Except if we really take those roles away and say, you could do whatever you want, people get anxious about that. People get scared. I mean, it's the whole, I'm referencing free will and choice, and Jean-Paul Sartre's nausea, which is like anxiety or this nausea, what he calls it, is like a response to free will, meaning like choosing the whole existence precedes essence. Like, you exist first and then you define who you are, your essence. Your essence doesn't have to be in line with your gender role. You build that. It's all up to you. And as amazing and wonderful as that sounds, and on the other side of that coin is that there's a lot of nausea or anxiety around all just knowing that you can choose anything. You can choose literally anything. This is a really watered down, like, 5-minute version, hopefully 5 minutes, of why I think gender roles exist. I mean, they exist for, like, we could just go so far into a discussion about this, but I think one of the reasons why they exist is to kind of compartmentalize and make sense of everyone and everything, so everything is just really nice and neat and compartmentalized, and we don't have to ask any questions, and we don't have to be confused, because we just have this tendency to want to know things and not question them. When people are like, I'm not comfortable with this, or this isn't what I expected, this isn't what I know. People get very uncomfortable, mean, violent, etc. Um, which is, just kind of a synopsis of what's going on in America, but that's not for here. So, okay, so that's my video about gender roles. Sorry I had to make it so quick. I'm afraid of the rooster. I have to go to work, but I hope that made some just tiny, tiny bit of sense. Please post your questions down below, either regarding this video or for next week's topic. So, next week's topic is literally me sitting at a screen answering your questions. So if you don't ask me anything, it's going to be a pretty embarrassing video. I'm just throwing that out there. So I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.